Hello dear viewer, Don't Feed Me After Midnight, Murdoch X here with the PlayStation 2 collection update for the month of April in the year 2021. It's been a while since I've done one of these, and that's because I ran out of money. This will be my last collection update for a while since I have now played every game that I own. Having said all of that, I'm not giving up on my collection, just taking some time to enjoy the games that I already own. In this update, I have 9 items to show off, which includes a broken game, a 3-pack, and a game guide. Let's get to it. Let's start off by talking about the Pac Man Power Pack. This is a 3-pack of games that includes Pac Man World 2, Pac Man World 3, and Pac Man World Rally. I already own Pac Man World 3 and Pac Man World Rally, so this only adds one game to my collection, but I love picking up these 3-packs, so I'm glad to have one more out of the way. I now have over half of them. Pac Man World 2 is the highest rated of the Pac Man World games, and there's a lot to love here. We've got collect-a-thon platforming with a Pac-Man spin, eat a power pellet, chomp down some ghosts, and search for all of the hidden fruits. I think I prefer Pac Man World 3, but this game is fantastic and I look forward to spending more time with it. The next game on the list is Super Bust-A-Move. I did a review of this game recently. Check it out if you get a chance. This is yet another puzzle bobble game of shooting bubbles and matching colors, but this time with the most notorious of all PS2 game cases. I mean, it does grab a shopper's attention. I don't know if the attention is good, but the game is fun. I may break this out when I have company again. You know, after the pandemic and all of that. Next up is Medal of Honor Vanguard. I picked this up in a clearance section for $2. This was a GameStop game at some point. You can tell by multiple stickers placed directly onto the game artwork, which is slightly worse than opening up a game and then selling it as new, which is what they do now. The idea of military games bores the hell out of me. Having said that, it is a good game, but at no point am I ever in a mood to reenact any war. The controls here messed me up for a little bit. I'm used to having a toggle on-off button for crouching, but this game has crouching and laying down, so you use the square button to go from standing to crouching or crouching to laying, and then the triangle button to go from laying to crouching and crouching to standing. Once I got this figured out, everything else fell into place. For being a single-player shooter, this is grade A material. It's not too easy, not too hard, the controls are smooth, and the stage design is primo material. And now for the broken game, Shifters. I bought this game over a year ago, and judging by the Metacritic score, it's not very good, but I'd still like to give it a chance and come up with my own opinion. My copy of the game boots, but then freezes up before it can start. I keep forgetting to bring it back to the game store. They've told me they'll swap it out for me when I bring it in, but I haven't gotten around to it. One day. Next up is Star Wars Episode 3 Revenge of the Sith. What we have here is a beat-em-up that follows the story of the film with a few RPG mechanics thrown in. Run around, force levitating droids and slicing them up with a lightsaber, followed by ramming either a lightsaber or part of R2-D2 into a hole to open a door. Lather, rinse, repeat. As far as beat-em-ups go, this one is solid. I found that doing a quick levitate followed by a heavy attack worked well on most big guys, while smashing the light attack button worked best for the little fellas. I've never seen this movie, so the clips from the film that play between the stages were all new to me. Also, they're unskippable, but they're not very long, so it's not a deal breaker. After each stage, the experience you've earned may be spent to upgrade skills. I thought I upgraded my healing in between a couple of stages, but I didn't notice a difference in the next stage, only to find out afterwards that the upgrade didn't stick. I must have hit the wrong button or something. I'm glad to own this. The Star Wars games are kind of like the Disney games. They're solid. Good stuff. Next up we have an Electronic Arts game, Sled Storm. I crashed a lot. This game is brutal but also easy at the same time. That is to say, I was constantly crashing and raging about it, but it also stuck me back in the mix in a reasonable spot, rubber banding as they say. What this means is that only about the last 60 seconds of the match matter. Crash too much and you'll lose, or keep those skis on the snow and you'll win. This game is fun, but I really wish they had made these sleds a bit sturdier. I played the second stage 3 or 4 times before quitting out of frustration. Then again, maybe I should get good. I might try this out again. The stage designs are fantastic and the shortcuts are satisfying. The next game added to the collection is the Polar Express. As far as licensed games go, this one isn't bad. Run around on a train looking for tickets, climb on top of the train to get to the engine, play a rhythm game with the engineers, ride a train car down a maze of lines and tilt it from side to side to keep it on the tracks, work your way to Santa through the dangerous maze of conveyor belts. There's a lot going on here and it's best to take it piece by piece. The story deviates from the film, even though that's where it gets its cutscenes from. This game also has a low Metacritic score, but it's a good balance of short and fun with a nice story. Also, Tom Hanks' brother plays Tom Hanks' voice from time to time in projects like this game. Fascinating stuff. Not a game, but something I ran into while poking through a clearance section was this Manicemia strategy guide. This was published by Double Jump Books, so I assume it's not very good. I owned one of their guides for a Nipponichi game, and the damn thing was worthless. That was for a strategy game though, so maybe with something that's a bit more straightforward like an RPG, this is more useful. I have both Manicemia games on the PlayStation 2, so the next time that I give that game a shot, I'll make sure to use this book and report back. And the final game in this collection update is Splashdown Ride's Gone Wild. I bought this game because it's one of the games that Metal Jesus suggests, and I gotta say I can see what he likes about it. The controls take some getting used to, but they're unique and interesting. What really shines in this game though is the stage design. I haven't gotten in too deep, but the second stage is a dinosaur stage and it is amazing. We have shortcuts, destructible set pieces, and a name that references porn. Okay, so the last part was a questionable decision, but during the PS2 era of games, there were a few attempts to make more titles with an adult theme, such as the Playboy Mansion game, BMX XXX, and the Guy game. God of War has boobs and it did really well, so a few companies gave it a shot only to discover that God of War is popular because it's a great game. And also because it has boobs. Splashdown Ride's Gone Wild doesn't have boobs, but maybe they were trying to imply that they did? I don't know. I think it's a bad name, but I also think it's a good game. In this title, you can make your Sea-Doo dip under the water and then pop out to hop over obstacles. You can also lean back to hydroplane to get more speed out of your vehicle, but this makes turning unpredictable. On the other hand, you can lean forward while turning to pivot better. It feels weird pushing forwards to turn harder rather than pushing all the way to the side, but it works. The game teaches you these mechanics through an optional set of tutorials, and then you're free to play and master the fantastic courses that follow. 100% worth the $10 that this game is currently selling for. By my count, this adds 7 new games to my PS2 collection. I'm not counting shifters since I haven't played it yet, and I'm only counting the 3-pack for the 1 game in it that I didn't already own. This brings my collection total up to 752 out of 1,795 games for a total of 41.9% of a complete North American collection. I'm nervous about spending time away from collecting games because as this pandemic has gone on, the value has gone up, and it should only continue to go up assuming our entire, infrastructure doesn't collapse. On the other hand, 752 games is a lot, and I'm running out of space in my tiny apartment. Either way, please do not lose hope, dear viewer. I will continue collecting and I will continue making videos, and thank you for subscribing and sticking around. It really does mean the world to me. Let's get to it. Let's get it on. That's weird, right?
I think it's funny. You should say it more like sports announcer though, since it's like a wrestling, like boxing thing. Let's get it on.
I was thinking about doing that, but then somehow porn voice came out.
Yeah.
Let's get it on. Let's get it on.
I don't like the porn.
The porn one's bad.